Good morning, it's Kinninigan. This is not good. I'm going to cover this because this affects people I know. I have family in Western Pennsylvania. This is also a major story. It's being covered up. In fact, I use FreeSpoke as a search engine now. And Tucker Carlson. FreeSpoke gives you unbiased search results. And they tell you whether the articles come from the right, left, or middle. It's the only unbiased search engine right now. DuckDuckGo's been compromised. Tucker Carlson, we don't know if East Palestine, Ohio can drink their water, but the White House isn't sure. The White House is sure there's no alien invasion. Yeah, I also understand basic chemistry. Apparently, the people who went to this derailment site in Ohio didn't. These cars contain vinyl chloride, and that's a chemical, when it's burned, creates a new chemical called hydrochloric acid. See, in chemistry, you just can't burn shit because new chemicals, sometimes you have to do a chemical synthesis in a zero vacuum chamber because the hydrogen and oxygen in the air can mutate a chemical into a new one, which is what happens with vinyl chloride, and it created a plume of hydrochloric acid. That's not shit you want to be breathing in. Here is the plume map. And here's where I am in Philly. This was the plume map from a few days ago. I don't know where they found this online. As you see, it's going over up into Canada now, all across the Northeast. Our weather obviously comes from Ohio. This is bad. And the White House wants to talk about aliens. It gets worse. There's been 2 more train derailments since this one. 2 more. Both carrying toxic chemicals. One in Texas and one in South Carolina. It seems, knowing that the way the weather patterns go across the United States, these were strategically done. Because Texas, South Carolina, and Ohio, it's kind of, isn't that where our weather systems move through the United States, up into the East Coast, where the largest population of Americans is? And Joe Biden, I think he's going on video today to talk about aliens or the balloons. They arrested a reporter. I don't care what anyone says or what the mainstream media tells you. Anyone involved in this incident, the APA, the local fire department, the police, they all have standing to have their asses sued out of existence. What makes standing in a case? Being able to prove personal injury. And I'd say it's happening. There's a theory floating around that they're going to act like they weren't involved in this and they're trying to cover it up, but they really were for obvious reasons because the deep state's getting desperate. So now they're blowing up tanker cars and pushing this false flag alien bullshit now. This is one thing that we've always been afraid of with these people. They are psychopaths. What do you expect? How did 2 more trains derail in the same week? Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of BS to me. People are comparing this to the new Chernobyl because Russia denied that Chernobyl happened at first, and then when Europe and the other people monitoring the air started seeing nuclear particles floating in the air. And the other thing is, with chemicals, you should have had... I guess no one has responded to the scene understands basic chemistry. Some chemicals, when you burn them, they create new chemicals because they react with the hydrogen and oxygen in the air. This is basic chemistry. Maybe if you weren't teaching 169 genders in school, all these woke universities, yeah, maybe if you went back to teaching science and chemistry, maybe if you had activists not working at the EPA and you actually had real people that understood real chemistry, they could have helped you out with this. You just don't go burning chemicals. Vinyl chloride is used in the production of plastics. Does anyone know what happens when you burn plastic or vinyl? Yeah, the smoke that it makes is not good. It also makes hydrochloric acid when it interacts with the air. So this plume is, I'll mark this as a top comment here. It's over at Twitter. You could see where it started in Ohio, and the weather is now pushing this plume. Side effects of this plume are going to be a lot like what you saw when they try to cover up 9/11 afterwards with all the poisonous shit that was on the ground in New York. Breathing problems, phlegm, coughing. Let these idiots try to blame that on something else, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Oh no, no, it's yeah, bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. Apparently, the people running this country are incapable of running it, and now they potentially have an ecological disaster on their hands, and they want to talk about aliens. And all this is coming out because of everything else being exposed right now from the Hunter Biden laptop, this, the documents, Joe Biden being behind the Nord Stream pipeline being blown up, which is the United States engaging in international terrorism. There's no way of sugarcoating that one. The report that got released by Mossad that showed the real numbers of the dead in Ukraine, where it's 400,000 Ukrainians compared to 18,000 Russians. Then the day after this report gets released by Mossad in Turkey, there's an earthquake in Turkey that kills 33,000 people. And now officials from Turkey are blaming the United States for the earthquake, saying it is, quote, man-made. Oh, you're not hearing about that in the news, right? Gee, I wonder why. Turkey's not going to put up with their bullshit. Turkey is not really a deep state proxy right now. I don't know if you knew that either. So Mossad has an interest in obviously what's going on in Ukraine because they don't like Nazis. Gee, I wonder why they don't like Nazis. So you have Zionists and the people behind the Fourth Reich, Klaus Schwab, are not getting along too good. You can't serve two masters. You can't be a Babylonian Talmudist and pushing communism at the same time. It just doesn't happen. Um, and now we have 3 trains around the week, and this is potentially. Where's Iron Brockovich? She look. Everyone in the East Coast should be scared right now. Yeah, look how big that plume is. Covers like almost the whole. And this was on the 8th of February that plume was recorded. We haven't seen the numbers from today. Fish are dying, animals are dying. This is going to contaminate the local groundwater. Um, Everyone that was associated with the cleanup of this, including those police officers who arrested the mainstream reporter reporting on it, all need to be arrested. And those cases have standing because injury can be proven, and that's what you need to have standing in court. Remember Supreme Court when you couldn't look at the election because it needed standing. This is what you people wanted, right? Oh well, you know what? Trump's out of office. That's fine. We got a chemical plume floating across the United States now. We got aliens invading. Our borders are being exploited. Oh yeah, but Orange Man's gone, right? This is why I can't say people know Trump derangement syndrome anymore. I've known for 2 years who we're being rolled by, and these people are psychopaths. And to sit there and hear people, oh, well, yeah, whatever. Why are they? I mean, this is basically you can sugarcoat it any way you want, but this is more or less this is chemical and biological warfare against its own citizens, and they're trying to. I don't know if they're covering it up because it turned out worse than they thought, or and yeah, they want to talk about the aliens are smart. They'd go home. This is why there was supposed to be a announcement by Biden to address the nation on balloons today. He's not addressing the issue in Ohio or the other two train derailments. I'm not trying to scare anyone with this chemical plume, but facts are facts. You can look it up if you. I'm not trying to insult people if you don't understand chemistry, but yeah, one of the side effects of vinyl chloride is hydrochloric acid when it burns. You also had benzene in here. It's not a chemical you want to breathe in. It's one of the carcinogens in cigarette smoke, plastic, and synthetic fibers, and rubber. Ethyl glycol monbutyl ether. Yeah, ether is not good. It's used in paint strippers and paint thinner. Butyl, there was more chemicals in the thing than they originally reported. Here goes all the chemicals that were in those tankers. And like I said, when a lot of these chemicals burn, they create new chemicals. This is basic chemistry. If you're going to do a chemical process and you're doing it in the open air, it's going to react with the hydrogen and oxygen in the air and create new gases and chemicals. This is basic chemistry 101. Ethyl hexyl acrylate, isobutylene, all these chemicals are highly toxic and flammable. The EPA is still assessing whether enough chemicals were released to pose health to residents. People are already posting videos of dead fish and animals in the area. People are reporting that their pets are dying. And it's not going to be too long before the humans start dying. I heard also that the government came in this place and made like 500 people sign non-disclosure agreements with the government. You should never do that. They're trying to silence the people that are in the area. And now they're trying to tell people, oh, there's nothing to worry about here. One thing I noticed the news is not doing. Have they brought any skilled chemists on here to talk about what's potentially going on here? I learned, well, a little bit. It's not going to matter. I don't have a hazmat suit anymore. But we learned about chemical and biological warfare when I was in the army. It's not good. It's nasty stuff. And this is bad. The train derailment wasn't that. I mean, it was still bad, but it didn't get worse until they decided to light the chemicals on fire. And didn't realize when you burn vinyl chloride that it creates hydrochloric acid. That gives major standing for a lawsuit. There's no BS excuse. Oh, we didn't understand chemistry, though. That's not an excuse. Can you imagine if something like this happened under Trump? Oh, we wouldn't hear the end of it, would we? And I think a lot of people are just getting fed up with the BS from this government. Joe Biden wants to come on He wants to speak to the people today about the balloons, and yeah, whatever. Go shove it. Why don't you come out and talk about what's going on in Ohio and the other two train derailments going on? Yeah, one in Texas and one in South Carolina. You think this is a coincidence? Oh, and both these cars are also carrying hazardous materials. It's off of my update. I'm not taking this off YouTube. This is yeah, and hey, if you're in the Northeast, I'm in Philly. This ain't good. There's a lot of people in the comments on Twitter. They're not too happy either. Media blackout. That's what people are pissed about. Media blackout. You pump us with 24 hours, 7 days a week of deep state BS that we need to worry about everything. You're going to walk outside. You're going to die if you don't have a face mask on. Yet you're not going to address a chemical plume floating over the United States. Are you serious? Oh, maybe they're counting on the fact that one effect of being poisoned by these chemicals might be flu-like symptoms. Yeah, wrap your head around that one. Let them try that bullshit card. Oh no, it's COVID. It's the hydrochloric acid strain. Yeah, bullshit. Anyway, that's all for my update. This is not good. Anyway, if you could support the channel, I'd appreciate it. You want to throw me a few bucks or some cigarettes? I haven't streamed in the past few days. I know. I need to. Maybe tonight. This is why I got to turn the news off. But it's something I just can't make go away by forgetting about it. Especially when this plume is moving over eastern Pennsylvania. It's moving across Pennsylvania, New York. Yeah, this ain't good. And I'm praying for the people in Ohio. I feel sorry for those people that were made to sign non-disclosure agreements. That should be your first red flag. I told them to shove that up their ass. You're not keeping my mouth shut, especially if my cats die. And remember, this is all because Joe Biden and his criminal law enterprise want to cover up their crimes, their money laundering, their child trafficking, their treason, selling our national military assets to foreign powers on the black market, and everything else that they're involved in. Meanwhile, why they call Trump a Nazi all day? I'm getting sick of this bullshit. I'm getting sick of this administration. And I'm getting sick of this goddamn movie if it's supposed to be one. People aren't supposed to die in a movie, white hats. So what is going on? Yeah, I'm a little emotional. I need cigarettes. Anyone want to help me out today? That'd be awesome. Everyone else, yeah, Godspeed. Apparently they're trying to cover this up. But I'll pin this as the top comment. This is the plume map. It's moving across the United States into Canada right now. Anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.